I'm looking at the start was obviously disappointing, but the second quarter was a really good fight back for both of you. I guess you can have a look at this. What made that turnaround in the second quarter? Because it was a good comeback. I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think we were just looking as the group on the court just to get stops and then play that way. And our stops led to our offense, and that's when we started knocking shots down, being really disciplined with our details, both on the defensive end and then on the offensive end. So when we just lock into that, I think we're really tough. That's what we saw in the second quarter.
Yeah, and look, and a real positive too, I thought, was you look at the side, a few missing, and I think you won the boards.
Yeah, by 7.
Yeah. So as the coach, you'd be pretty happy with that?
Yeah, and there's a whole context to it, but the way that these guys go about business and play hard, you can never fault week to week. It's just, finding enough reps and finding enough bodies to make sure that, we can stay at that level. We know every game's going to be a fight for us to get over it, and we're prepared for that. But, we just got to find enough juice in the bank to stay in the mix at the end and have a crack at it. Yeah,
and I guess we've seen that with a couple of results too. Like if you put it together, it can be a really good night, and that's been proven. And you would have seen it too. You feel it out in the court. You had a couple of really, really good games, and then a game like tonight's ebb and flows for you as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I think with 3 of our 6 games, we're just less than 8, and then a couple of outliers. One was 10-ish. This one about 20, and then a bigger one. But we're right there. We know all our games are going to be close. We want to just be in it towards the end and then be able to make plays. So everything we can learn from the good parts, the bad parts, we take it, we watch film, and we get better. So I think that's what's really cool about this team is we're continually getting better. We watched the first time we played them, and we were a completely different team, which is really cool. And it's a product of the coaching, the players buying in. It's pretty cool.
And what's next week, or the next game, we should say? Where are we off to?
We're at home.
Finally.
Yeah, so it's been a big 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So 4-week stretch at home, the 2 games, Sydney next week on Friday and then Townsville on Sunday.
Just on that, both from a player and coaching viewpoint, just being on the road, I mean, if it's kind of 2 or 3 or whatever it might be in a row, is it difficult? Or can it be difficult, I guess, is the question.
This is turning into a therapy.
Relax, grab is hard.
Yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult. How do we feel about that? We feel...
I mean, it's positive and it's negative. I think the cool part is with this young group, we've come out of it so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but when you go day in, day out, going home buying groceries for 3 days is never fun, just to get right back at it. But for a young group, a group that we now get to learn a lot about each other, we're having dinners together, we're, sleeping right down the hall from one another.
Yeah.
We can just get together and be around each other, and I think that's what's really cool.
Yeah. So I guess it's a positive in that sense. You're right, it actually brings a group together and you find out a lot about each other.
Yeah, and as much as we're driving towards, the winning and winning consistently, it's a young group, and having reps is the quickest way to grow up. And it's short-term pain, we've said this before, for long-term gain. So we just need to keep putting our head in the noose, and we'll climb that mountain and we'll get over it and get some wins for sure.
Well, I guess the one you'll take a few positives. The boards were one, but also that second quarter, to be honest, was one that you'll take away and have a look at that. I'm sure you'll look at that on the tape and say that's what we want to be able to achieve for 4 quarters. So well done. Good luck for the rest of the year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you.